let's celebrate some wonderful booktubers and some of the books that they helped persuade me to buy. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is a celebration of 10 wonderful booktubers that we have here on the platform. I am myself a constant watcher of all 10 of these channels, and I enjoy each and every piece of content that they put out. The idea behind this is to just celebrate some really wonderful people that are here, because the world is so full of crap right now. And it's a timely reminder that there is still joy to be found in the little things. And if you find joy in reading, that's what I do here. And hopefully you can go and find some new people to go and follow and celebrate in that joy together. This is by no means an extensive list at all. Most of my watching, I don't really watch TV, I don't really watch movies, but what I do watch consistently is BookTube. I love books, I love written word as media, and that is my chosen source that I will often turn to. I read more than any other hobby that I have. And these booktubers have really just helped solidify my love of written worlds, and I have some fun along the way. So, like I said, not an extensive list. I probably watch, I don't know, 30 to 40, potentially 50 booktubers constantly. It's always going on in the background, which is probably why my TBR has a soul-crushing weight attached to it. But what I wanted to talk about today was 10 of my favorites, or 10 of the ones that I watch the most constantly, and some of the books that they helped influence me to buy. Some of these I've read, a lot of these I haven't, but they're on the list and we'll get there. So without any further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. I will have all of these channels linked down below. I might give a little bit of an insight of how I came to them, or some videos that drew me towards their channel, but mainly it'll be about the books that they've influenced me to go ahead and check out. And some of them are surprising for me, moving into sort of literary fiction. But anyway, I digress. We'll just jump into the list. The first one that I have here, and probably the biggest person on the platform that I follow personally, would be Elle from Elliot Brooks. I'll have her channel linked down below, and you'll see a little photo of the channel up there. Now, Elle was one of the reasons I actually started watching BookTube. I found her channel, I would say 5 or 6 years ago. I've been on the platform now for 3 years. I was definitely watching it before I made the leap to come on here, and Elle was one of those first channels that I jumped into. Just her very humble and easy nature is so easy to get lost in and just feel positive about the world after you've finished one of her videos. So 2 of the series that I have here that were influenced by Elle, who has influenced many purchases on these shelves over the last few years. Our tastes don't always align, but a few that have definitely caught my attention, which I have not read, is I think this is the Bone Shard Daughter, what is it called? The Drowning Empire series. So I have all 3 of these in the hardcovers. It was meant to be a priority for me this year. We'll see what happens. I am drowning in like alpha reads and beta reads right now, which is fine, but that is definitely one that Elle influenced me to pick up, and also R.S. Ford with The Engines of Empire. This is the Age of Uprising. I've got books 1 and 2 and book 3 on the way whenever it drops, because of Elle. Well, not because of Elle. I make my own decisions because I'm an adult human being. Anyway, I digress. It sounded cool when Elle talked about it, so I went ahead and picked it up. So that is the first channel and a couple of books that I was influenced to buy from that channel. The next one I have is another channel that I've followed for a very, very long time. I would say pretty close to following Elle, and that is Brittany over at BookswithBrittany. Brittany has one of the most real channels that I have come across, and even though, again, our tastes don't always align, I tend to find myself gravitating towards just how open she is with her life and her tastes, and being unapologetic about those changing and ebbing and waning over the course of her life. And it's been really refreshing to see someone just lean into the different phases that we might go through and what's pulling us at the time. So I actually found Brittany when I was trying to get into fantasy again. I'd sort of come away from it a little bit, and I discovered her around the time that there was a Lord of the Rings reread. So Brittany successfully got me to read Lord of the Rings for the first time. I loved it, had a good time with it, and then I have read this whole series. I ended up picking up Dune because I figured our tastes were fairly similar, and if she loved Dune, I was probably going to have a good time with it. I read all 6 of the series that Frank Herbert put out, and I loved every single one of them. My favorite is probably number 4, which is God, Emperor of Dune, followed by this first one here. And I really need to watch the Bene Gesserit show on Binge, I think it is. I don't know what it is in the US, maybe HBO Max, I'm unsure. The other one that I picked up from Brittany, this is probably early days for her channel as well, was The Starless Sea by Erin Morganson. I also have The Night Circus. I have not read this one yet, but I will. I will at some point. I'm actually sort of gravitating towards a little bit more magical realism at the moment, so potentially this one will happen before the end of the year. Moving on from there, we have My Name is Marines, or Marines. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. She really makes me want to read or be a better person when I'm reading. I'm not sure when I discovered the channel, but I know that the videos that she puts out, I tend to gravitate towards because they always make me think critically about the books that I'm picking up and also questioning why I'm picking up those books and what the motivation is behind it and trying to go in with a fairly critical lens. I believe that Marines has helped me to read with a more analytical mindset than just going in to read for enjoyment. Not that there's anything wrong with just reading for enjoyment, but for me personally, I tend to naturally seek deeper meanings from what I'm reading, and I think that has come from this channel. But I find Marina's fantastic and just, yeah, really enjoy. I won't go, I'm just gushing about my favorite booktubers, but that's fine. Two of books that Marina's has influenced me to go and check out is The Deep Sky by Yume Kitase. I probably butchered that and I'm so sorry. This is a sci-fi thriller about a deep space mission, and I believe there's some murder mystery elements in there. It's like a lethal explosion. It says a lethal explosion that leaves the survivors questioning the loyalty of the crew. I won't read the full blurb out, but I'll put the picture up here. This is such a beautiful cover as well, like the space behind it with all the colors. Into it. Love it. So that one I will probably pick up hopefully this year. I'm not making any promises though, because we're all readers and we all have a TBR, which is ridiculous, right? The next one that I have here is The Unmapping. This is by Denise S. Robbins, and again, a really fun cover here. I believe this is contemporary or litfic, and it is a character-driven literary speculative exploration of a city's descent into chaos and confusion. It says perfect for fans of Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which I also have on the shelves and haven't read. But I read the blurb of this. I remember watching a video of Marina's talking about this particular book, and it seemed like something that I wanted to go and check out, so I picked that one up. Then we have Jashana over at JashanaReads. Some of the things that she talks about on her channel is so similar to the way that I feel and view just life in general, and I usually have a very good time and have a good laugh while I'm watching her videos. Again, a very unapologetic take on books, another DNFer, and just, yeah, all around good time. I have a wonderful time watching Jashana's content. So two of the books that she's influenced me to try, and one of these is definitely on my radar this year, is Kashil's Dart. This is the first. I think there's a trilogy and there's a follow-on series. So I have the first three. I will be reading these later this year, and that has been hanging around for basically as long as I've been watching Jashana's channel. So I went and got the three of those. I think I finally found the three of them last year together, and yeah, I'll be reading them. The other one that I have from Jashana's influence is The Son of the Storm. This is by C. Davies Okambawa, and beautiful, beautiful cover. A channel that has also, I try to read diversely, but definitely a channel that has made me more conscious of the reads that I'm picking up and whether I am reading diversely enough. So this one came from that channel. Then we go on to Taylor, so MaedBetweenthePages. This is probably my favorite channel on BookTube. The vlog, the Japanese vlog content, and just how real she gets is, and also the things that she does over with page chewing is just fantastic. I have such a wonderful time with Taylor. The vibes are there. I'm 100% there for the vibes and the bookish content, and just saying that sometimes we don't read a lot in a month, and that's fine. But I have a wonderful time every time I go and watch one of Taylor's videos. So this one is interesting because Elle could be partially to blame for the next one as well. This is The Ninth Raid by Jen Williams. The uniqueness of the setting and the story of this one has me super intrigued to the point where I just went and bought the trilogy, and I will be giving it a go. It's probably a 2026 read for me at this point, so don't get your hopes up for this happening this year, but it is certainly on my radar. Now, the other one is a book series that I'm on the fence about, and I have been on the fence about for a very long time because people who like authors that I don't tend to love, like Joe Abercrombie, also rave about this series, which makes me very nervous, but I haven't said no to it yet. And this is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. So I don't know, there's heist, there's good bromance in there, friendships, things like that. I like those things, but I'm nervous about getting into this series. It may be the best thing I've ever read, but I haven't picked it up yet. But Taylor certainly puts it on my radar every time that she talks about it. Next up is a channel which is relatively new to me, but very, very high up on my favorites list, and someone I would, consider flying across the world to go and meet because of how much I enjoy their content. And this is Faye from Books and Chocoholic. This channel just feels like home to me. I really love just the homey vibes of Faye's channel. If I need a comfort, I'm going to stick on one of Faye's vlogs because it just feels so comforting and so warm and so welcoming, and I love it. Now, Faye, interestingly enough, reinvigorated an interest in a popular fantasy author, which I wasn't sure I was going to continue on with, and that is John Gwynne. I listened to The Faithful and the Fallen, and I liked it. It didn't wow me in any way, shape, or form. It was sort of classic fantasy that followed classic fantasy tropes. Faye has single-handedly convinced me to read this physically, which is the medium that I take the most from, and to give it another go and then continue on. I'm probably more interested in the subsequent series in this world. I do not know what it's called for the life of me. Don't ask me. But it has convinced me enough to go and reread this series in print and then continue on with the next series. The other one that she has convinced me to read because of Pride and Prejudice in Space is the OG Pride and Prejudice. Now, this is the completed works of Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice is in here with all the other books. It is a thick book there, and I may continue on with reading Jane Austen because there's a few others that I'm interested in, and Rachel has this giant tome of all of them, but I'm feeling a classic, so the next classic that I tend to gravitate towards, don't be shocked if it is Pride and Prejudice. And I will probably do that on audio just because classics tend to work better for me on audio. The next channel we have here is another one I've been following for a very long time. This is Holly over at HollyHeartsBooks. I have bought so many books off of Holly's influence. And not just her influence, but she has a fantastic way of selling books to you. She is an Orbit girly, and every time she does like a new release is coming out in the month, I'm like, yes, all those sound fantastic. Just rip my wallet from my hands and take it from me. Consumerism at its finest, I'm sure. But the way that Holly just presents these books so damn passionately has me passionate about reading again. And I've really, really loved my time with her channel. Two of the books that I'm going to mention that I've been influenced to buy and try, and these series may be on the 2026 radar as well. I've just read my first David Douglas, and it was fantastic. Well, it wasn't the best thing I ever read, but it was fun. It was a lit RPG. Anyway, I digress. The Keeper series by David Douglas is one that I really do want to try out. I have all three in this trilogy, and they're sitting on my shelf back there, and they get smaller with every subsequent book, which is not something I often see with fantasy books. So definitely on my radar from Holly's channel is David Douglas as an author. I read my first one, but that series is one that I will hopefully get to soon. No promises. And also Bradley P. Beaulieu. This is the 12 Nights of Sherikai is the first book. I'm not sure what this series is called. Do not ask me. It's not in the front of the cover, and it's not on the spine. So we're just going to go with that. I have all 5 of these books. However, they are in various sizes, and that hurts people. So I've kept them away from the shelves that you can see behind me. But this is definitely one that Holly has influenced me to pick up, as well as many, many others. Some that I don't physically own because at some point I had to stop just consuming until I read them, because I've read Dune out of that last list that we put up there. Next one I have here is a channel that I've come to appreciate more this probably the last 12 months, and that is for just the real talk that has come through the channel, talking about consumerism, talking about booktube, talking about critical aspects of our lives that are influenced by books, but not necessarily the books themselves. This is Tori over at Tori Talks. I really enjoy her philosophy and the way that she speaks about just any topic. I could listen to Tori speak about any topic from a critical eye and just want to have a conversation. She is definitely one of the creators on the platform that makes me go, we should be having the... Oh wait, Valerie, the dairy cow needs to move. Barbed. Tori is definitely a creator that makes me want to be a better human being and makes me less inclined to judge quickly and to be open to have an empathetic conversation, even if I don't necessarily agree with the views on the other end of whoever I'm talking to. So I really appreciate that aspect, and I think we live in a world at the moment where it is very easy to jump onto one side or the other without wanting to have that conversation. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, and she just makes me want to be better. And that to me is what an influencer, without going into like the whole surface level view of an influencer, is really about. You know, it's having someone who goes, you make me want to be a better person, and Tori does that for me. Two of the books on my radar from Tori are Nomads of the Sea by Kobizaka. This is a standalone, I believe it's nautical fantasy. Again, it is a beast. This is a heavy book, but it apparently is fantastic, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but I bought it many moons ago when it came out, and I just haven't got around to it yet. So this one is on my radar, hopefully for the year, when I feel like I can fit in a giant book. Oh, it's only 700-ish pages. That's not that bad. I'm reading Malazan, right? It's got 1,300 pages. And the other one that I have from Tori is much shorter, and it's because I love Tori's books so much. And this is Land of Exile, book number 1, By Blood, By Salt, by J.L. Odom, and the second book has just come out. These are beautiful. They are only about 400 pages, and because of how much I love The Bloodstones, which is Tori's book, and how much Tori loves this series, it's definitely been put on my radar for something that I'm probably going to enjoy. Next up, we have Roger over at RodgersReads. I would call Roger a good friend at this point. It is probably my favorite connection that I've made over BookTube, and I've made some really wonderful connections here. So I'm talking about BookTubers specifically that I talk to relatively consistently, and I got to go and like log into Roger's thesis presentation, which was just like really fun. I think I got up at like 2 or 3 in the morning to go and watch it. And he just inspires me, again, to be smarter. Not to necessarily be a better person, sorry, Roger, but to be a smarter person. And doing the Malazan read with Roger was really interesting because he is very smart IRL. I am not smart IRL, or at least not in the same way. So I tend to read with a critical eye, whereas someone who has to have their brain on the whole time likes to read things for other reasons. And it was just really interesting to do a buddy read with him about that. But I've been around, I think I was here slightly on the platform before Roger came in. I picked up his channel very quickly and have not looked back. I really love Roger and his channel. Now, I promise, Roger, I will get to this one day. There's like 400 books in this series at this point, though. But one of the ones that has been put on my radar from Roger is Guilty Pleasures by Laurel K. Hamilton. This is the Anita Blake series, but there are so many books in this series right now. Fortunately, they're all pretty short. But I have the first one. I will read it at some point. I don't often gravitate towards, I believe this is urban fantasy, but when I do, it's on the shelf. It is there, ready to go. And the next one is probably one I will pick up first. This is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Shuri. This is the Burning Kingdoms book 1. I have all 3 of these, I want to say. I do. I just got the 3rd one sent in the mail. I forgot to get rid of the pre-order. This one still has a receipt in there, so that bodes well. But this is a series that I will probably read. I'm hoping late this year, early next year. We'll see. We'll see how we go. And the last one I have on this list is another booktuber that I discovered very early into watching BookTube, and I would love to go to the UK and have a pint with Dominish, or Dom from Dominish Books, and he's a proofreader. I would love to use his services one day. Just another cool connection that I've made since being on the platform. Now, Dominish has really helped steer me towards the indie community and put The Iron Crown by L.L. McRae on my radar. Now, this is a book that I didn't actually start with this one for this author. Her World of Lunaria series, which has 4 books in it so far. I believe the 5th and 6th may be combined just to be a 5th and final edition. I read that first, and it really opened my world of self-published. I was interested in being someone who would review and look at self-pub books on the platform, and L.L. McRae and Dom, who, influenced me to pick up L.L. McRae's books, really solidified that decision and what I wanted to be doing here on the platform. So it started a whole gateway. It started the whole BookTube journey to find L.L. McRae and Dom as well. And the other one, and the last one that I'll talk about here, is Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is what is this series called? It's a 10-book series. I have no idea. Shadows of the Apt. And this is Empire in Black and Gold. I've heard very mixed things, but I think it'll work for me. Based on the people who have similar tastes, it won't work for everyone. Like I said, it's a 10-book series. There's a lot to get through. I think I will probably do this one alongside the Wars of Light and Shadow by Jenny Wirt. So I'll be finishing up the Malazan Book of the Fallen, at least the first 10 books, hopefully in the next couple of months, and then going on to Wars of Light and Shadow, and then I'll probably do this one at the same time. or I'll just go back and finish Wheel of Time and then start this one, but it is there ready to go. Those were some of the booktubers that I watch constantly on the platform. These are 10 people who constantly bring me joy, and I hope that they can bring some joy into your days as well. Name your favorite booktubers down below. Let me know. I'm very interested in who you're following, particularly if they are smaller content creators. I'm always looking for more. It is something that I constantly watch, so let me know. If you like the content, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.